The sound echoed through the first-class cabin like a crack of thunder. Flight attendant Monica Peters stood over the passenger in seat 1A, her hand still raised from the slap she'd just delivered. The woman's face turned slowly, a red mark blooming across her dark brown cheek, but her expression remained eerily calm. "Did you just hit me?" Dr. Janet Hudson asked quietly, her voice so controlled it was almost a whisper. "You put your hands on me first," Monica snapped, loud enough for every passenger to hear. "Everyone saw it. You grabbed my arm when I was trying to do my job." Janet's hand had barely touched Monica's sleeve to get her attention. Now, a dozen phones were out, recording everything. "Ma'am, I need to see your boarding pass again," Monica had demanded moments earlier, the third time in 10 minutes. "First class requires premium tickets, and frankly, I'm not convinced yours is legitimate." Janet had reached out gently to stop Monica from walking away mid-conversation. That's when Monica had struck her. If you believe people should be treated fairly and respectfully, hit subscribe and comment respect. "I want her arrested for assault," Monica announced to the cabin. "Someone call airport security." The businessman in 1C was already filming. A young mother in 2B had her phone out too, but something felt wrong to them. The woman who'd been slapped wasn't yelling or crying. She was simply waiting. Janet picked up her phone with steady hands and made a call. "Hello, Richard. It's Janet. I'm going to be late for the board meeting." "No, I'm still on the aircraft. There's been an incident." "Yes. Document everything. I'll need legal standing by." Monica rolled her eyes. "Oh, please. Who are you calling?" "Your lawyer. I have witnesses that you assaulted me first." The captain's voice crackled over the intercom. "Flight crew, what's the delay? We're 10 minutes past departure." Monica grabbed her radio. "Captain Morrison, we have a violent passenger in first class, requesting immediate security assistance." Within 3 minutes, 2 TSA officers boarded the aircraft. Officer Chen, the lead, walked straight to first class with his partner. "What's the situation?" "This passenger became aggressive when I questioned her ticket validity," Monica explained, her voice taking on a practiced professional tone. "She grabbed me, and when I defended myself, she started making threats about lawyers. I want her removed and charged with assault." Officer Chen looked at Janet, taking in her tailored navy suit, her understated jewelry, the calm way she sat with perfect posture. "Ma'am, did you put your hands on the flight attendant?" "I touched her sleeve to get her attention after she walked away mid-conversation," Janet replied evenly. "She then slapped me across the face. Multiple passengers recorded the incident." "She's lying," Monica's voice rose. "I was defending myself," the businessman in 1C spoke up. "Officer, I recorded the whole thing." The lady barely touched her sleeve. The flight attendant definitely hit her hard. "Sir, please mind your business," Monica snapped. Officer Chen's partner, Officer Williams, stepped forward. "Ma'am, can I see your phone?" "Don't show him anything," Monica insisted. This woman is clearly trying to manipulate the situation, but the businessman was already playing his video. The footage was crystal clear. Janet's gentle touch on Monica's sleeve, Monica's violent response, the sharp crack of the slap. Officer Chen's expression changed. "Miss Peters, this video shows you striking a passenger. She touched me without permission. That's assault. I have a right to defend myself." Captain Morrison emerged from the cockpit, his face tight with tension. "What is going on out here? We're backing up traffic." Monica launched into her explanation, but the captain held up his hand. "Ma'am," he addressed Janet directly, "I apologize for this disruption. Are you injured? Do you need medical attention?" "I'm fine, Captain, but I do need to understand your airline's policy on crew members physically striking passengers." "There is no policy that permits that," he said firmly, then turned to Monica. "Peters, you're suspended effective immediately. Gather your things." "What?" "Captain, she assaulted me first. The video evidence clearly shows otherwise. Leave the aircraft now." Monica's face went red. "This is discrimination. You're taking her side because you struck a passenger," the captain interrupted sharply. "That's a federal offense. You're lucky she hasn't pressed charges yet." The word "yet" hung in the air like a threat. Monica grabbed her bag from the overhead compartment, shooting Janet a look of pure hatred. "You're going to regret this. Do you have any idea who my uncle is? He's a VP at—" "Miss Peters, leave now, or I'll have security remove you, Captain Morrison ordered. As Monica stormed off the plane, Janet made another phone call. Sarah, I need you to pull every contract we have with SkyWest Airlines. Yes, all of them. I want a full exposure report within the hour. The businessman in 1C was still recording. He'd caught that phrase, every contract we have. His mind started racing. Captain Morrison crouched beside Janet's seat. Ma'am, on behalf of SkyWest Airlines, I sincerely apologize. We'll provide you with any assistance you need, and of course, we'll comp your flight and provide additional compensation. Captain Morrison, Janet said calmly, pulling out her phone, I appreciate your professionalism, but I think there's something you should know about me before we proceed with compensation discussions. She opened her email and showed him a message thread. The subject line read, Q4 Board Meeting, SkyWest Holdings. The captain's eyes widened as he scanned the email. His face went pale. You're Dr. Hudson? Dr. Janet Hudson? I am, from Hudson Global. That's correct. The businessman in 1C couldn't help himself. I'm sorry, who's Hudson Global? The young mother in 2B whispered to him. They're one of the largest aviation investment firms in the country. They own stakes in like half a dozen airlines. Captain Morrison stood up slowly, like a man who just realized he was standing on the edge of a cliff. Dr. Hudson, we had no idea you were on this flight. Your ticket was purchased under my personal name. Yes, I prefer to travel without the corporate fanfare. She paused. I like to see how airlines really treat their passengers. The cabin had gone completely silent. Even the people in coach were craning their necks to see what was happening. Ma'am, please tell me how we can make this right, Captain Morrison said quietly. Janet opened a folder on her tablet. Captain, Hudson Global currently holds a 23% equity stake in SkyWest Holdings. We're your second largest shareholder. That's approximately $680 million in current valuation. The numbers hit him like a physical blow. Additionally, Janet continued, we provide consulting services for your fleet modernization program. That contract is worth $45 million annually. We also facilitate your leasing agreements for 12 aircraft in your international fleet. She looked up at him with those same calm, dark eyes. Captain Morrison, in the past 6 months, SkyWest has had 17 documented incidents of discrimination complaints. I've been reviewing them because we're deciding whether to increase or decrease our investment position. The captain looked like he might be sick. Dr. Hudson, please, we're implementing new training programs. We're working on cultural improvements. This incident with Peters, she'll be terminated. We'll make sure this never happens again. Captain, I've heard those promises before from other airlines. What I need are measurable outcomes, not PR statements. Janet pulled up another document. I'm proposing a comprehensive audit of your passenger service protocols, mandatory de-escalation training for all crew members, and an independent oversight committee for discrimination complaints. Hudson Global will fund the entire program, $12 million over 2 years. The businessman in 1C was frantically typing notes on his phone. This was the wildest thing he'd ever witnessed. But here's the condition, Janet continued. If there's another incident like this in the next 24 months, Hudson Global will divest completely from SkyWest Holdings. That's $680 million in stock will dump on the market. Your share price will crater. Captain Morrison swallowed hard. And if you succeed, we'll increase our position to 30% and provide another $200 million for fleet expansion. We'll make SkyWest the model airline for passenger dignity and respect. She stood up, smoothing her suit. I'm not interested in revenge, Captain. I'm interested in change. Your flight attendant slapped me because she made assumptions based on how I look. I want to make sure that never happens to anyone else, whether they're a CEO or a college student, or a grandmother flying to see family. The young mother in 2B started clapping. Then the businessman joined in. Within seconds, the entire first-class cabin was applauding. Captain Morrison extended his hand. Dr. Hudson, you have my word. We'll meet every benchmark you set. Janet shook his hand firmly. Then I suggest we get this flight in the air. I have a board meeting in Dallas, and I'm now 30 minutes late. As the plane finally pushed back from the gate, Janet settled into her seat. Her phone buzzed with a message from her assistant. Monica Peters' uncle is actually the VP of marketing at SkyWest. He's been calling nonstop trying to get her job back. What should I tell him? Janet typed back, "Tell him that Hudson Global will be reviewing the airline's nepotism policies as part of the audit, and that his niece committed assault on video. No exceptions. If you believe people should be treated fairly and respectfully, hit subscribe and comment. Respect." The businessman in 1C leaned across the aisle. "Dr. Hudson, I have to ask, why didn't you just tell them who you were from the beginning?" Janet smiled slightly. "Because I wanted to see how they'd treat someone they thought had no power. That tells you everything about an organization's true values." "And what did you learn?" "That one flight attendant's behavior doesn't define an airline, but how leadership responds to that behavior. That defines everything." She opened her laptop and began working on spreadsheets as the plane climbed to cruising altitude. Just another passenger in seat 1A, except she wasn't. She was the woman who turned a slap into a $12 million investment in human dignity. 3 months later, Monica Peters filed a lawsuit claiming wrongful termination. The video evidence was shown in court. The case was dismissed in 40 minutes. Monica's uncle resigned quietly rather than face the nepotism audit. SkyWest Airlines implemented every change Janet proposed. Discrimination complaints dropped by 68% in the first year. Customer satisfaction scores climbed. The stock price increased 34%. Hudson Global increased their investment to 30% as promised. And SkyWest became the first airline to win the National Civil Rights Award for corporate transformation. And Dr. Janet Hudson? She still flies commercial, still books under her personal name, still watches how airlines treat passengers who look like her, because power isn't about demanding respect. It's about changing the system so everyone gets respect, whether they're sitting in first class or the last row by the bathroom. Sometimes the quietest voice in the room is the one that changes everything, and sometimes the person you underestimate is the one who owns everything you thought you controlled.